Good evening, one and all. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Conference on Voting, Democracy, Elections, Public Policy and Programs, Reforms, Awareness, Education, Environment, Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaign in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. On the occasion of Parliament elections 2024 and also as part of voter awareness and campaigns to create a voter awareness and also provide various resources available online and offline and to encourage free and fair elections and to motivate and increase voter percentage through creating awareness among citizens through online and offline. This is an initiative which we are taking up on the third day in the form of conference. So we request everyone to take part actively by sharing your experiences, observations, and also making presentations on the topics and themes specified as part of conference and also visible on the screen. And all the presenters are requested to share their details as mentioned on the screen in the chat box so that we can invite you one by one for the presentations on first come, first serve basis. So before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. So presenters waiting for their presentations can share your details as per the format specified on the screen. To the host so that we can invite you. As we have seen yesterday, this Lok Sabha election 2024 with the tagline Chunav Ka Parv, ECI, that is Election Commission of India, has taken a lot of initiatives to create awareness and to bring voters to cast their vote and utilize their right to vote. As part of this and various initiatives, there is a dedicated platform and a portal launch named SWEET, which is abbreviation for Systematic Voters Education and Electoral Participation, which has various information related to voters' education and electoral participation. SWEEP is the flagship program of the Election Commission of India for voter education, spreading voter awareness, and promoting voter literacy in India. It is a multi-intervention program that reaches out through different modes and media to educate citizens, electors, and voters about the electoral process in order to increase their awareness and promote their informed participation. SWEEP is designed according to the socio-economic, cultural, and demographic profile of the state, as well as history of electoral participation in previous rounds of elections. So the Commission produces several voter awareness materials and disseminates the same through various mediums, platforms of communication, that is print media, electronic media, online media, that is social media, and so on. The vision of SWEEP is to enlighten, enable, and empower every citizen to register as a voter and cast his or her vote at every election in an informed and ethical manner. Universal and enlightened participation of citizens in elections and democracy. The objectives of SWEEP strategy 4 for the duration 2022 to 2025 is increase voter turnout to 75% in Lok Sabha elections by purifying the electoral rolls of every polling booth, bridging gender gap in enrollment and turnout, ensuring inclusion of all non-voters, marginalized sections through targeted interventions, technological solutions, and policy changes, addressing urban and youth apathy in electoral participation, turning around all low turnout constituencies and polling stations. So these are the various objectives to enhance the quality of electoral participation in terms of informed and ethical voting through continuous electoral and democracy education. Now, how to register your vote? We have seen yesterday, Election Commission of India offers online voter registration for Indian citizens who have attained the age of 18 on the qualifying dates, which is 1st January or 1st April or 1st July and 1st October of the year of revision of electoral rolls. Citizen can enroll himself or herself as general voter and fill the form 6 online at National Voter Service Portal. Registered voters should also check their enrollment status. So we have to remember these are the qualifying dates, 4 qualifying dates, that is 1st January, 1st April, 1st July, and 1st October. So before these dates, if you fill and register yourself, they will process the data and they will, if eligible, if all the requirements are met, they will be issuing a voter ID card for you. So this revision takes place 4 times, and kindly be mindful of these dates. Otherwise, also you can register anytime, any day on the website, regardless of these days. These days will help you to monitor and check, and if required, re-register yourself if there is an issue in the registration process. So as part of the voter registration status, you can first check your name in the voter list online using the electoral search. And if name is not visible, or if you are making any changes, or if you would like to make any changes due to various reasons like relocating or registering new voter or changing the constituency or changing the place or district, state, for any reason, if you would like to update you can use the form online to update the details. And also, when you are registering in a new constituency, it is your responsibility to delete, to make a request for deletion in the previous constituency, because we all can have only one vote. Every citizen has the right of vote, and that too one vote across India. So it is our duty, because we cannot vote at the same time at 2 places, and also it is also not ethical, moral, and also legal. So to avoid misuse of our right to vote and also avoid any kind of corruption or irregularities, it is our responsibility to ensure, to inform the electoral authorities for the update, addition, or deletion of the same. Sometimes it happens that people, we all have to die one day or the other. We live, we come, we leave. It is natural process. And it is also important to ensure that those who left the world, those who have departed from this world, their names are also deleted so that their vote is not misused. And you can also verify your name or register online using voter portal or voter helpline app. You can do it online, offline, through mobile or through website in various modes. So to register your vote online, general voters need to fill Form 6. This is only for registration of new voters. Like after you attain 18 years, or if on any of these dates which we mentioned, 1st January, 1st April, 1st July, or 1st October, if you are going to attain 18 years of age, then you can apply even in advance also. For the first time, if you haven't registered earlier, you can use Form 6 to register for the first time. And if you are an Indian living abroad in any country other than India, then NRI voters need to fill the Form 6A. All these forms are available online. You can fill it. So all the citizens living in India has to fill Form 6, and those who are staying abroad outside India need to fill Form 6A. And for the deletion or objection in electoral rolls, fill Form 7. And for shifting of residence, correction of entries in existing electoral rolls, replacement of election voter ID card or EPIC, and marking of persons with disability status. If unfortunately due to some accident or incident you have temporary or permanent disability, you can use this form 8 to mark the changes. This is online procedure. Register to vote online and register as voter online. So these are various forms you need to remember. Form 6 for general voters within India. Form 6A for voters outside India, citizens of India, those who are living out of India. And Form 7 for deletion or any objections in the electoral rolls. And Form 8 for shifting of residence, correction of entries, existing electoral at roll replacement of EPIC, and marking of PWD. So for any of these, you can use these forms online to register yourself. So if you want to register offline, then what is the procedure? You can also enroll offline, fill 2 copies of Form 6, you can take a printout, or you can get it free of cost in the offices of electoral registration officers or assistant electoral registration officers and booth level officers. You can visit office offline and you can get a copy of registration free of cost. You need not pay anything. There are forms readily available. You can collect 2 forms and fill 2 forms, that is 2 copies of Form 6. And this application, accompanied by the copies of relevant documents, can be filed in person if you are doing it offline, in person, before the concerned electoral registration officer or assistant electoral registration officer, or you can also send by post addressed to him or her, and can also be handed over to the booth level officer of your polling area. Either you can submit in person or you can send it through post directly to the electoral officer or to the booth level office. If you need any help, you can call the helpline 1950 for any help, for any information, and also clarification. So if you need any material or any information, you can check it by yourself by visiting the website ecisweep.nic.in. I am sharing the details in chat box as well. If you need any information, you can visit this website. You can call this number or visit this website for further information, detailed information. Yesterday, we have also seen the same website and a lot of material was available. And we also have seen manuals also and online registration forms as well. And you can track your application after registration. And you can also have detailed information on how to register and so on. So the entire process is carried out by Election Commission of India, which is an autonomous constitutional authority responsible for administering election process in India. The body administers elections to the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and state legislative assemblies of India and the offices of the president and the vice president in the country. The Election Commission operates under the authority of the Constitution as per Article 324 and subsequently enacted Representation of the People Act. There are various initiatives that have been taken up. In case of any grievances, you can also reach out to grievance portal. And not only the services are available for the voters, ECI website also provides option for electors, for voters. You can register to vote, and also you can check application status of your registration. You can also find your polling booth. You can also search name in voter list, and also you can register complaints and various other services for the voters or electors. For political parties or contesting candidates, they can register new party registration. They can register their party, which is not registered yet. And they can also apply for election symbol allotment. And they can also file nominations. They can also file e-affidavits and also seek various permissions. And for Election Commission of India officials, they can access various handbooks, manuals, checklists as part of training and in dispersing their duties as part of the elections. And they can also access the compendium of instructions, postal ballots, as they will be on duty. So generally, before elections or after elections, they will be provided with an opportunity for the postal ballot where they can cast their vote, as on the election date, they will be performing their duties to enable voters to cast their vote. And apart from that, they will have access to service voter portal where they can look at grievances and various services. And there is also observer portal where observers are assigned and they can provide their feedback and get training material, and so on. Now, as an electors, you can avail the services as informed, like register in the electoral roll, register online, or download the form for registration. You can complete online, submit online, or you can download the forms, or you can also visit your local booth officer or booth level officer or concerned authority in your area and collect forms for free and submit along with your documents in person or by post. So you can also track application status submitted for registration or updation, whichever is the case in the electoral rolls. And you can also download your voter ID, which is also known as electronic EPIC from the website. Or you can collect it from nearest citizen service centers. And you can also update your details in electoral rolls. Either you can submit online or you can also submit offline in person for various reasons like shifting of residence, correction of entries in existing electoral roll, replacement of election card or EPIC. There is also an app dedicated on a mobile platform, Saksham app, a mobile app to provide all voter related services to persons with disabilities. So they can use this app on their mobiles for accessing various services on mobile. And submit your Aadhaar number, letter of information of Aadhaar for the purpose of electoral roll authentication. You can also get the record deleted, voter application form for objection, for proposal, inclusion, deletion of name in existing electoral can be also done through electors or voter services available on the portal. And you can also, as already mentioned, search your name in electoral rolls, find your name, whether your name is listed in the electoral rolls or not, and also know your polling station by providing your voter ID details. So by providing voter ID number or EPIC number, you can search which is your polling station. And there is also a provision for service voter for registration of service portal, service voters on portal. For overseas voters also can enroll themselves on the portal as overseas elector or overseas voter. And there is also an app known as C-Vigil, that is Citizen Vigilance, which is available on Android as well as iOS, where you can register complaint against violations. And you can also find details about the candidate contesting in the elections. You need to cast your vote, right? But to whom you will vote? So you need to get some information about the candidate or the party you are voting. So the voters can get the information about party and also the contesting candidates online on web portal we have seen yesterday, and also through app which is available on Android and iOS platforms. Find the complete details for the candidates, including in affidavit and also their personal details. You can also find their property details, assets, and so on. So you know who is the candidate and what he is worth, his social status, financial status, and personal details, so on, so that you can choose him or her. You can also register your complaint with ECI either through online web portal or through Android or iOS app. You can register your grievance with ECI. And for political parties and candidates. For political parties, political party registration can be done online. Registration of new political parties under Section 29 of A of the Representation of the People Act 1951 enables the political parties to register themselves in Election Commission of India so that they can allot a symbol and recognize the political party and in the electoral process. Online political parties registration tracking management system is enabled, which is in short known as PPRTMS, where these political party registrations can be tracked and their status can be known from time to time on this online system. Political parties and election symbol. You know, every political party has a symbol allotted to it. So allotment of reserved symbols under para 10 and 10A, para 10B and miscellaneous orders regarding election symbols and symbols orders can be found on the portal. So there are certain reserved symbols which cannot be allotted, and there are some free symbols which can be chosen. So all that details and existing symbols which have been already allotted can be accessed through online platform. And the constitutions of political parties, you can see the constitutions of recognized national and state political parties online in the section Constitution of Political Parties. And organizational election of recognized national and state political parties can be accessed online through the portal, and guidelines on transparency and accountability of the parties in party funds and election expenditures are also significant and a matter of surveillance and concerns. And apart from this, for political parties and candidates or contestants, electoral bonds, which was introduced, you can access the electoral bonds which have been disclosed, disclosure of electronic bonds in 2024, and also expenditure reports or statements of political parties for legislative assembly election and Lok Sabha elections, or whichever it is applicable can also be seen. or accessed through web portal. And contribution reports of political parties for legislative assembly elections and Lok Sabha elections and various other elections can also be seen, accessed on the website. And also yearly annual audit reports and recognized national and state parties reports can be accessed under annual audit report section. Apart from this, electoral trust reports, election expenditure statement of political parties for legislative assemblies and Lok Sabha elections can also be accessed through the portal. Now, not only this, we can also see the list of political parties registered with the ECI. You can find one or more political parties or all list of all political parties registered with the ECI on portal. And we can also see the list of all recognized and de-recognized parties in the portal. Earlier, they might be recognized, but now they no longer are being recognized or they have been removed from the list. Even those details can also be accessed on the portal. And apart from that, any disputes, mergers, etc., like one party merging into other party or other party merging into some ex-party, and disputes among parties like we have seen when the head of the party or the founder of the party passes away or there is a fight, the entire founders get divided into one or more groups, two or more groups. They have dispute of owning or claiming the party. And various reasons are there. Of course, various situations arise. We have seen earlier also. So such kind of disputes, mergers, acquisitions, all sort of things can be accessed with this section, all under electoral candidates and political parties section. And other orders like miscellaneous orders, notices by ECI, Election Commission of India, instructions, notices, and so on can also be found on website. And apart from that, for the constitutions, as we have mentioned, every party has its own constitution frame. So you can download and access the constitution of respective party of all across the nation. And apart from that, internally, every organization has also organization elections, which elects their president, working president, and state and national positions. So these details also are monitored and also published on the ECI websites under political parties and organizational elections. Like every party, they conduct organization elections within their organization, within their party. They conduct elections and they elect their leaders or members, which play a significant role in running the party and also in various activities of the party or organizations. Those details can be found in this section. And there are various guidelines as we have already talked about, notices for political parties, which can be accessed through this section for political parties and contestants. So here you can see the ceiling of election expenses by candidates, or pro forma for filing statement of election expenditure by the political parties and also by the candidates, and so on. So you can see, especially depending as per the Ministry of Law and Justice Legislative Department notification on 23rd February 2011, in the exercise of the powers conferred by Section 169, read with subsection 3 of Section 77 of the Representation of the People Act 1951, 43 of 1951, the central government, after consulting the Election Commission, hereby makes the following rules further to amend the conduct of election rules 1961, namely, these are the rules that are guiding of the expenditures. So these rules may be called the Conduct of Elections Amendment Rules 2011. These shall come into force on the date of their publication in the official gazette. In the Conduct of Election Rules 1961, in Rule 90, for the existing table and entries relating therein, the following table and entries shall be substituted. Namely, there they have given a list of tables under different heads and states. The maximum limit of election expenses in any one, like parliamentary constituency or assembly constituency. So we can see there are states in say, for example, coming from alphabetical order. In Andhra Pradesh state, maximum limit of election expenses for parliamentary constituency is 40 lakhs and assembly constituency is 16 lakhs. Similar way in Arunachal Pradesh, it is 27 lakhs and assembly constituency, it is 10 lakhs. In Assam, 40 lakhs for parliament and assembly, 16 lakhs. Similarly, in Bihar, it's 40 lakhs and for parliament and assembly, 16 lakhs. In a similar way, in Kerala, it is 40 lakhs for parliament and 16 lakhs for assembly. And in Karnataka, it is 40 lakhs. This is the maximum limit of election expenses for parliament and 16 lakhs for assembly. And Madhya Pradesh also same, 40 for parliament, 16 lakhs for assembly. And similarly, in Uttar Pradesh, 40 lakhs for parliament and 16 lakhs. In majority of the states, it is 40 lakhs and 16 lakhs. And that is the highest amount permissible. Even in Tamil Nadu, it is 40 lakhs for parliament and 16 lakhs for assembly. Even in Uttarakhand and Jharkhand, in Uttarakhand, it is 40 lakhs for parliament and 11 lakhs for assembly. And Jharkhand, 40 lakhs for parliament and 16 lakhs for assembly. In Northeast states, it is less, somewhere around 35 lakhs for parliament and 8 lakhs for assembly. So depending on the state, size of the state and the various other population and various other factors. And not only for all the 28 states, because this is the old one. Now even new states also have been included. So it is more or less the same. In union territories also, 7 union territories at that time. For Andaman Nicobar Islands, for Parliament 27 lakhs. For Chandigarh, it's 22 lakhs for Parliament. Dagra and Nagar Haveli, it's 16 lakhs. Daman and Diu, it's 16 lakhs for Parliament. These are all central, under central government, so they don't have this, assembly. So they are union territories. So Delhi is an exception, has both, and also Puducherry is also exception that has both Parliament and Assembly. So for Delhi, 40 lakhs for Parliament and 14 lakhs for Assembly. And Puducherry, it's otherwise called as Pondicherry, is 32 lakhs for Parliament and 8 lakhs for Assembly. And Lakshadweep, 16 lakhs for Parliament. So the principal rules were published, wide notification number SO 859 dated 15th April 1961 and last amended wide SO 728 of E dated on 8th May 2007. So these are the latest ones, subject to any changes or corrections. So this is ceiling of election expenses by candidates or electoral or the parties. And there is also a mandate of online filing of contribution report, audited annual accounts and election expenditure statements by political parties, which has to be submitted on IEMS portal, online filing of contribution papers, audited annual accounts and election expenditure statements by political parties. So all this information is available on the ECI website. So we need to, as a conscious voter, or if you are interested in politics, there is a whole lot of information that is available on ECI. Of course, there are other information also which is lacking, but that is very less percentage, but you have a lot of information on the ECI website where you can access and find out information on various parties and candidates. Under the section of disclosure of electoral bonds, there are details of electoral bonds submitted by various banks and are also digitized, especially by SBI. So you can see the details of electoral bonds issued by SBI, who has purchased it, and how much they have purchased, and who are holding these electoral bonds. We have various parties, and every party is assigned with one account number. They can encash these political bonds. And they vary in number, like in different denominations. So you can get all the details on the website, which parties has encashed its electoral bonds. And even under the section of contribution reports, you can see all the political parties' contribution reports for the year. Now the latest is 2022 to 2020. So you can access all the contribution reports of various political parties on the portal. And there are also electoral trust reports like Bharatiya Bhumi Electoral Trust, Swadeshi Electoral Trust, New Democratic Electoral Trust. Like this, there are independent electoral trusts. There are various trusts established. You can have access to the trust reports under this section. And coming to allotment of election symbol, there are various conditions for allotment of election symbol. And there is also a pro forma for applying online. All these can be, and there are also certain images for free symbols and symbols order pro forma for common symbol under 10B, and miscellaneous orders can be accessed from the portal. Now, just briefly looking at the conditions for common symbol allotment. On the date of application, the party should be a registered political party with Election Commission of India under the provisions of Section 29A of the Representation of the People Act 1951. The application for common symbol allotment should be received in time as explained below. So these are the various conditions. Election on expiry of the normal term of the Legislative Assembly or House of People, as the case may be. An application is made at any time during the period commencing from the date 6 months prior to the date of expiry of the term of Assembly, House, and latest by 5 clear days before the date on which the notification or the first of the notifications in case of phased election of the election is scheduled to be issued. Election on dissolution of the Legislative Assembly or House of People, as the case may be, an application is made at any time from the date of dissolution of Assembly House and the latest by 5 clear days before the date on which notification or the first of the notification in case of phased election of the election is scheduled to be issued. The date on or after which an application for common symbol allotment is made to the Commission for the upcoming general elections to the Legislative Assemblies and Lok Sabha can be accessed and is available at the Commission's website. You can check it, all the applications, and a duly filled application should be furnished by the party in the revised prescribed pro forma on the letterhead of the party, and that can be accessed from ECI website, and the required annexures are also to be enclosed, should be enclosed along with the applications like annexure 1, 2, and 3. Pro forma for application for common symbol allotment is available on Commission website. You can access it and download. The party that has availed of this concession on 2 occasions shall, however, be eligible for the concession in any subsequent general election, subject to the condition that on the previous occasion when the party availed of this facility, the votes polled by all the contesting candidates set up by the party at the general elections in the state was not less than 1% of the total valid votes polled in the state. The party should have conducted its organizational election as per tenure approved, and the application should be presently an authorized office bearer of the party as per the latest organizational details taken on record of the Election Commission website. The party should have submitted reports on contributions received and audited annual accounts as per instructions number 76 by PPEMS Transparency by 2013 dated 29/8/2014 and 76 by PPEMS Transparency 2014 dated 14 October 2014 for the last 3 financial years to the office of the electoral officer of the state where the party is having its headquarters. Proof of service should be attached. And the party should have submitted election expenditures statement of the party as per instruction numbers 76 by PPEMS by Transparency 2013 dated 29/8/2014 and 76 by PPMS by Transparency 2014 dated 14/10/2014 for the last 2 elections of the party has contested, if any, to the office of the Chief Electoral Officer of the state where the party is having its headquarters, and proof of service should also be attached. So again, these years are tentative in nature. So based on the prevailing contest and the year of elections, these conditions have to be maintained. If an application for common symbol allotment is rejected on any of the above mentioned reasons, it is advised that a fresh duly application, fill-in application form along with all necessary enclosures may be submitted to the Election Commission of India after the reasons for rejection of earlier application has or have been rectified. These are conditions for allotment of election symbol. So all these related and much more can be accessed through portal. And apart from that, for Election Commission of India officials, there is a single point access for references to all information provided by or needed by the ECI for ECI officials for conduct of elections. So there are various handbooks, manuals, model checklist, and also compendium of instructions. And there are apps also, portals like BLO app, dedicated mobile app for booth level officers, both on Android and iOS platforms, and ERONet portal, Electoral Roll Management, which is a portal of officers for e-roll management. And a lot of ebooks are there on various topics and frequently answered questions. There is a section dedicated to that. And apart from that, we have election planning portal for election planning for future elections. And there are also various training materials for ECI official on various topics like IT applications, poll process, counting of votes, nomination, paid news, MCMC, vulnerability mapping, EVM, VVPAT, MCC, allotment of symbols, etc. All kinds of training materials are available for free to access for election officials, these electoral officials. Even the general people who are interested can also access these materials along with political parties, candidates, so that they also know what are the rules and regulations, procedures, and they are also ensuring that they are following, and also even the electoral officers are following them. And there is also an observers portal. This portal is used for the purpose of monitoring and sending messages to the observers that are deployed in various states in this portal. The ECI views various reports uploaded and filled in digitized format. There are observers appointed to observe and report on elections. So they will be observing the entire electoral process and reporting to the Election Commission of India. And ECI officers log in for observer reports. There is a dedicated section which contains information about observer reports for electoral or election officers. So once these observers and various other electoral officers are submitting their reports, there is a dedicated portal where ECI officers can log in and check the reports. And there is also a mobile app by name Encore, a mobile app that allows nodal officers to take immediate action to whether objection of or no objection. Nodal officers can automatically assign and get push notifications and permissions as applied. So this is an app dedicated for nodal officers. And there is also an app called CVigil, as already mentioned, Citizens Vigilance, that provides the time-stamped evidentiary proof of model code of conduct and also expenditure violation having live photo and video with the auto location data. If you find that at any time, any party, any candidate, any voter or any election officer is violating the code, you can install this app and you can record, you can take photos and instantly upload to the platform, to the Election Commission website. So you can report if there are like in earlier days, in the first few days, we have seen that some of our friends have shared that they are not able to exercise the votes because a lot of things are happening, unwanted things. In such case, it is like every citizen is a citizen journalist. So you can take photos and videos and you can report it to the concerned Election Commission of India officials or directly to ECI. And there are also various initiatives like electronically transmitted postal ballot system and registration as service voter. So there is a dedicated section where you can, especially service voters, can register themselves. And also there is a section, National Grievances Services Officers Login, where ECI officers log in to access National Grievances Services portal, where they can look at the various grievances filed by the different stakeholders of various elections. And apart from that, there are various manuals, like manual on electronic voting machine and manual on district election management planning, manual on electoral risk management, a manual on force deployment in elections, manual on vulnerability mapping, manual of force multipliers and civil measures. And there are also various handbooks. You can download it for free or access it for free on portal like Handbook for Returning Officers, Handbook for Sector Officer, Handbook for Police Officers, Handbook for Counting Agent, and Standard Operating Procedures, SOP for the last 72 hours, Handbook for the Candidate, Handbook on Media Matters for CEOs and DEOs. And there are also various checklists available on the portal, like checklist for the returning officer, checklist of district election officer, checklist for presiding officers, checklist for last checklist for 72 hours to poll day. And there are also compendium of instructions where it is prepared exclusively for the election schedule, like compendium of instructions 2024 volume 1 and as well as volume 3 is available online. And apart from that, there are observer handbooks for observers, volume 1, 2, and 3. At the latest updated edition is February 2024. And there are various do's and don'ts for district election officers, for returning officers, for presiding officers, for sectoral officers. So that information and ebooks can also be accessed from the portal. So this is not only just for the electoral officers, election officers, but also for the common people who are interested in how these elections are conducted and what are the rules which election officers also need to follow, so that if your rights have been violated, you can also ask and demand for your rights. Apart from this, there are also various materials available. We will look into that in detail. So we will also see various presentations that are Yeah, so we will just check the chat box if anyone is interested or have any presentation requests. Then we'll move on to presentations, and after presentations, if we get some time, we will look into further details. Lots of information is available on website. Various websites are also, portals are there dedicated for this electoral process. And as it is our right, we have to ensure that we are exercising our right. Election day is not a holiday to enjoy, avoiding voting process, but it's a day that comes once in 5 years, once in 6 years. That is a day we get an opportunity to exercise our vote. So don't miss that day, and ensure that not only you, but whoever is eligible, whoever has registered, you also take them go along with them and cast your vote. So we have one request: exploring the impact of spiritual tourism. What's your name? Megha Sharma. Are you there, ma? You can raise your hand. Megha Sharma. Can you hear me? When we invite you, respond. Okay. So you have to share your PPT by yourself. You can unmute yourself. Start your video and presentation.
Good evening, everybody. I hope I'm visible and audible enough.
Yes.
Before starting my PPT, let me just allow me some seconds so that I can share my screen.
Okay, go ahead. And we request all the presenters to follow the presentation guidelines as mentioned on the website. The link has also been shared because the evaluation criteria is based on the presentation guidelines.
Sir, let me confirm it whether my PPT is visible or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Sir, thank you for allowing me this time, and thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. My name is Megha Sharma, and I'm a research scholar from Amity Institute of Travel and Tourism Management, Noida. And I would like to extend my warm regards to Shri Holistic Health Foundation India and Shri Research Institute and Center for Art, Science and Wellbeing, all the collaborators and all the coordinators, and especially the special thanks to Dr. Ravindra sir, who is a moderator or coordinator of this event, and or for and their wonderful team who are giving this opportunity to me for presenting my views and opinion on this platform. I'm just starting with my presentation. Today's topic is exploring the impact of spiritual tourism on personal transformation and well-being across cultural analysis in the sacred city of Haridwar. This is a small bit of part of my extended PhD research topic. So I prepared my today's presentation based on this. So on the, I can say, let's start with a basic introduction about this topic. In the realm of this contemporary time of tourism, the part of a spiritual tourism or well-being tourism is emerged as a major context Is it visible, my screen?
Yes, ma'am, please continue.
Okay, so it's emerged as a distinctive and informative as well as a transformative journey, which drawing individuals as well as not even in national tourists, but the outside foreigner tourists for seeking personal growth and self-discovery and the enhanced sense of well-being. This paper, whatever research I have done on this topic, embarks on exploration and profound impact of spiritual tourism, contrasting its lens on a sacred city of Haridwar, along with the banks of river Ganga in India. Haridwar stands as a timeless, become a cultural and religious significance, providing a captivating backdrop of understanding the interplay between the spirituality, the religious tourism, and the transformative experience of individuals. Before dwell into the core topic, let's understand the core concept of well-being. Well-being is an experience of health, happiness, and the prosperity. It includes having a good mental as well as the physical health, high life satisfaction, and the sense of something mean to you or the purpose of your life, and the ability to manage your day-to-day stress. And the next connected topic is spirituality. The spirituality is it's not a minor topic. It's a broad concept which is connected to the belief system in something beyond itself. It is strive to answer the question with what the purpose of your life, what is the how people are connected to each other, truths and universe and the mysteries of human existence, their connection between their self and to the God or the outer existence. It's all connected through the spirituality. This is what we call as a spirituality. Spirituality offers a worldwide suggest that is more than a life, than just a people experience on a sensory and a physical level. Instead, it suggests that there is a something greater that connects all human beings, whether it's nature or all the lives who are living in this world or in this universe to each other, and to combine as a collective form of universe itself. And combined with wellness and spirituality, we put it together, and it makes a greater part of our day-to-day life nowadays. It's called spiritual well-being. What is spiritual well-being is all about? Spiritual well-being is about finding the true purpose and the meaning of your life, and developing it's a better understanding of yourself, to know yourself, who you are, what is your main purpose in your life. Your personal, it helps you to develop or to analyze your personal belief system, your lifestyle, your thought process, everything, and what you value in this life. It involves exploring your beliefs, different principles, different values. It also gives you the meaning and purpose of your life. It's always encourage you to find a purposeful life, so that you can not only make yourself improve, but at the same time with you can be able to contribute in this whole society. Spiritual well-being may be, it's totally very depend upon the person to person, how they perceive it. It's definitely, it's a different thing from different people, how they are thinking about it, how they are connecting towards it, based on their religion, their tradition, and how they are primarily connected all their belief system with the quality of personal relationship or love for nature. There are 8 dimensions in well-being. 8 dimensions means whenever we are talking about well-being, we always categorize into different sections, like how we are gonna explain that what is well-being. Well-being is not a physical or mental state all alone. It's a different dimensions which works in a different parts of our life. How it is? Number 1 is emotional, how we channelize our emotional quotients, how we control our emotions, how we firmly control our different elements of emotions, like whenever we feel sad, whenever we feel anger, or happiness or sadness, how we channelize, how we process it, or emotional thoughts into a productive manner, or how we channelize our negative thoughts in a productive manner, or how we process it collectively, it's called as a one dimension of well-being. Next is physical one. Definitely our mind is connected to our physical self. If our mind, if our we are emotionally not stable, definitely it's there are multiple research which are signifies that okay, if you are mentally not happy, if you are mentally are in a distressed state, definitely it's gonna impact on later or sooner it will impact on your physical self. So this is a second number. Next is occupational. Your emotions control your physical elements, control your behavior in your occupational area surroundings. If you are working, if you are not happy within yourself, if you are not happy, if you are not motivated enough, if you are not calm enough in yourself, in your well-being, then obviously it's gonna impact on your occupational front as well. Same goes with social, your social life, your social circle. In the first definition, spirituality and well-being, it's we already discussed that socially how we connect. Not spirituality, it's not only talking about me, it's talking about me as a whole universe. Whatever comes around ourselves, whether it's an animal or plant or living thing or non-living thing, or our relationship, our parents, our um, friends and circles, how we are emotionally, how we are socially connected, how we are helpful, how we are empathical towards their self. Next is spiritual, through meditation and all, how you are going to maintain it. Next is intellectual. Well-being is a very important fundamental thing which control your intellectual decision making. If you are not in a correct state of mind, if you are mentally, emotionally, physically not well, good enough, then definitely it will gonna impact on your intellectual ability to take a decision in a different situations. Some people might behave in a very drastic way, they behave in a very impulsive manner, because what was the reason behind it? Because they are not emotionally stable, they are not mentally well fit enough to take a decision, and to reciprocate to the other people. Next is environmental, and finally is financial. Financial, definitely your decision making is related to your finance, your expenditures. That comes here is, this is called as a 8 dimension or well-being, which implicates how you gonna channelize different aspects, whether it's emotional, physical, occupational, social, spiritual, intellectual, environmental, or financial aspects of your life. Next is review. When I was working on this paper, I gone through a different literature reviews, and it's not possible for me to show or list it down each and every literature review, but some of them or some study I have mentioned it over here. So let's go into a first study. It's written by Mr. Whitehead, and it's published in 2012. And this research has shown that religious and spirituality can help people cope with the effect of everyday stress. The study found that everyday spirituality experiences help older adults, especially older adults, because they have multiple issues going on with their lives, better cope with the negative feelings and enhance the positive feeling. Because in the spirituality, if you are thinking about yourself, if you are analyzing, if you are giving yourself a sufficient time to understand what is happening, what is it all about, what is in what is happening with me, or what's wrong with me, am I doing something wrong? If I'm doing something wrong, how can I rectify it? So definitely it will cope up with, it will give you an power to cope up with the negative feeling and enhance your positive feeling towards it. Next study is Timothy and Olson. Their studies suggest that understanding the motivation that driven individuals to undertake spiritual tourism is foundational to comprehending the subsequent impact on personal transformation and well-being. Researchers have identified a spectrum of motivation that encompass both intrinsic and extrinsic factors. Among the intrinsic motivation are the quest for spiritual growth, self-discovery, and inner peace. Spiritual tourism is often seen as a means of individual to escape the routine daily life and seek a deeper connection with the divine or a higher purpose. Next study is Sam and Jenner, which published in 2018. The transformative potential of spiritual tourism goes beyond the physical act of travel. It extends into the metaphysics and physiological, psychological realms of individuals. The searchness of the destination and the engagement in the spiritual practices create an environmental conducive to personal growth and self-discovery. Spiritual tourism often report a high-end sense of well-being, increased mindfulness, and a deeper connection to their inner self as an outcome of their transformative experiences. So based on these are the studies or researches, we come to the conclusion that yes, spiritual practices have the power to transform the human life and the way on their mental and the physical well-being. They are very much helpful to make the person more emotionally stable, more mentally healthy, and physically as well. Let's talk about the spiritual well-being in terms of Haridwar, spiritual and religious dimension in Haridwar. Haridwar, as you all know, Haridwar in Uttarakhand, Haridwar and Rishikesh, there are the two most famous touristic destination, especially to cater our spiritual and religious tourism. But nowadays, Haridwar and in early time, like since so many years, the people are coming from different parts of India, not from a different parts of India, but from a different parts of world, are coming in Haridwar for experiences the cultural and religious dimensions. These are the integral to its identity as a spiritual tourism destination. The city is historical significance, hosting major religious festivals like Kumbh Mela, Earth Kumbh Melas, and the complexity of the spiritual journey. Mr. Helpney argued that the cultural heritage of this destination significantly influenced the authenticity of the spiritual tourism experiences. In Haridwar, the authenticity is not confined to the ritualistic practices, but the embedded in very fabric of the city of tradition. It's not only confined to the rituals, the daily day-to-day religious rituals which we performed in Haridwar especially, but it's deeply embodied with the city traditions of spirituality. What was my here are some objective of my study. My objective mainly to go into this topic was first is investigate the impact of spiritual tourism in Haridwar on personal transformation and well-being among visitors who are visiting Haridwar from diverse cultural backgrounds. Second objective was examine how engagement in different spiritual activities, sense of community, and cross-cultural exchanges contribute to these outcomes. Based on my research objectives, I developed my methodology on the descriptive manner and as well as the qualitative and quantitative. I pick up both the few elements from the descriptive and few elements of the qualitative and quantitative research methodology. Based on that, I collect 200 plus data from the real ground, and I segregated into different categories. First is demographic categories. Here are the table 1. Which is available for you to look around, and table 1 is suggesting the provide an overview of demographic characteristics of the survey participants. It includes age, distribution, gender, country of origin, region for visiting Haridwar. So table 1 is demographic characteristics, which represent the demographic characteristics of the participants which took a part in my survey. So majorly as you can see, that majorly the tourists who are visiting Haridwar is between the age of 20 to 24. These are the major people demographic section age, the people who are visiting Haridwar. Next table is the spiritual activities in Haridwar. What are the spiritual activities they are indulging in? So table 2 is display the frequency of various spiritual activities undertaken by survey participants during their visit in Haridwar. So activities is, there are multiple activities which Haridwar is offering to the tourists. First is bathing in the Ganga River, attending aarti ceremonies, meditation, listening to spiritual discourses, because there are so many ashrams over there, so many spiritual leaders are there. So they constantly try to engage in spiritual discourses. Next is visiting temples, and last one is observing religious rituals, whatever rituals is happening in the Haridwar region. So here you can see the based on their rewards and their participants, their answers, based on their answers, here we can understand that what are the major. Bathing in Ganga is 90%, which mainly took part by the domestic tourist, and meditation is 70%. So majority of chunk, apart from bathing in Ganga and Ganga River, attending aarti ceremonies, visiting temples, these are the few elements which are involved by the local tourist, Indian tourist. It's more convenient to say the Indian tourist. But if we're talking about the foreigner tourist, which I will show in the next slide, the major part of the spiritual activities, there are a huge percentage, 70% of the surveyors are saying, especially in if we talk about domestic and international tourists, majority of international tourists are traveling Haridwar because of the meditation purposes. Next is impact on personal transformation and well-being. Next table demonstrate the percentage of participants who reported various positive outcomes related to personal transformation and well-being. The data provides a visual representation of the most frequently mentioned changes based on their whatever activities they are indulging in, they are participating in. So how those activities impacted their lives in a real time. So I asked those questions based on that. So positive outcomes related to personal transformation and well-being. The outcome comes, here are the some outcomes which I come across, is increased self-awareness, improved mental health, stronger sense of purposes is 48%, greater sense of community. It helps to, if spiritual activities helps them to connect with a in sense of a community. They after indulging in these kind of activities, slowly and gradually people evolve as a sense of whole community, not as an individual. They always start, their thought is that after taking participate in so and so activities, they become aware and they evolve as a whole community, not as a individual. So they start thinking about as a community, not as an individual. Their primary objective are to serve the community, not to serve themselves alone. Next is heightened spirituality. These activities help us to increase their spirituality understandings. Cross-cultural analysis. This table examines the difference in spiritual activities between participants from Westerner and Easterners origins. This specific graph is revealed variation in the type of activities undertaken by these groups, which we talk in our second slide. That okay, whatever activities, these are the activities people, you as a whole tourist people took part in. But out of all those activities, especially meditation, here is the meditation. Westerners are taking a majority of bathing in Ganga again, attending aarti ceremony again, meditation again, listening to spiritual discourse and visiting temples. These are the activities which tourists especially took part when they are visiting Haridwar. But out of whole, when we segregate the whole tourist community into the Westerners and Easterner groups, here we come across that bathing in Ganga because it's a religious significance for Easterners, especially for Indians. So 95% of the Easterners took part in bathing in Ganga, whereas Westerners took less. Like they are 85%, not very keen about taking baths and all. Okay, this is because they are not religiously inclined towards that. Attending Aarti, again, it's a religious symbol. Somehow it's a spiritual sign as well, but mostly we look for this as a religious activity. So 90% Easterners are taking part in attending Aartis, whereas Westerners are 75%. Meditation here is, you can see the flip. Meditation, 80% of the Westerners are visiting Rishikesh, and their favorite most activities which they took part in is meditation. 80% of Westerners. Where we comes to the Eastern part, only 65%. Though it's a good number, it's a good percentage, but still comparative to other activities, bathing in Ganga, attending Aarti, it's dropped to 65%. Next is listening to spiritual discourse, 60% Westerners and 70% Easterners. Visiting temples, again, it's Westerners are more interested to visit, but mostly not because of the religious aspect, because they wanted to travel because of the architectural purposes. They just were interested to know about the story behind this temple and architecture and all. But Eastern took majority of part in visiting temple because of the religious identity and religious needs. Based on this analysis and the responses which I get it, I come across with thematical analysis from interviews, whatever interviews I have took. Here are some analysis from their interviews. First is connection with the spiritual practices. Participants mention that the engaging in spiritual activities help them in connect with themselves on a deeper level. They get to know after engaging in these spiritual activities, it helps them to get to know about themselves, what their actual purpose on their earth if they are alive. It's not about only eating, earning money, and having a family. That's it. No, they evolve. They think beyond it, their dimensions. They think about deeper level, often leading to increase of self-awareness and improve their mental health. Eventually, if you are aware of your surrounding, you will contribute to protection of environment. You will help to contribute to save animals and everything. So you will, self actualization is the perfect word, where you can self actualize yourself not as an individual but as a whole universe. So you know if you are doing something wrong, it will later or sooner it will impact on your life. So definitely once you get this idea or this sense of realization, it will slowly and gradually it will improve your mental health. Next analysis which I come across is sense of community, which we already discussed. Is many interviewee expressed that being in Haridwar as well as Rishikesh as well, but especially in Haridwar, among other spiritual seekers, created a sense of belongingness, and they support each other, which positively impact their well-being. If they are built sense of belonging, that as a community, you are not alone. Always somewhere is there who will be there to help you, to look after you, to cross check your well-being, whether you are okay or not, whether you need something or not. It will create a sense of community, because as a human we are made to live in community. We are not made to live as an individual person. So it will increase their sense of community. Next is cross cultural exchange. Participants from diverse background discuss how interacting with people, how it's interesting, how it is interesting to interacting with different people from different cultural backgrounds, different ethnicity, different religious backgrounds, and to share their experiences, this leading to the greater understanding of spirituality and exchanging their personal transformation journey, where we come across with different people who are coming from different places, who are from different ethnicity, different race, gender, creed, caste, everything. When we come together and we talk to each other, when we share our opinions, our belief system, our thinking, our psychology, our everything, then we get to know, okay, this is the point of view which we never heard about. Okay, this is the aspects of life which we always ignored. So it will transform, it will give you an opportunity to think beyond the your capacity, beyond the you can say is out of the box. You can start thinking about, okay, this could be a path to self-actualization, or this could be a path of living your life. This could be thing which people, if you people are happy, so it will personally transform your life, and it will help you to transform your life journey. Overall, these results provide a comprehensive analysis of the impact of spiritual tourism in Haridwar on personal transformation and well-being. The data analysis with the tables and graphs offers clear insight that into the factors contributing to these outcomes, and highlights the importance of cultural consideration in spiritual tourism research and findings. The objective of this study was to investigate the impact of spiritual tourism in Haridwar on spiritual transformation and well-being among visitors from diverse cultural backgrounds, especially focusing on the role of spiritual activities, a sense of community, and cross-cultural exchanges. The hypothesis proposed that the spiritual tourism lead to a significant personal transformation and improved your well-being, with varying experiences depending on cultural backgrounds, whether it's Westerners or Easterners, Indian or foreigners. Based on the data analysis, the findings are presented below according to the study. So here are some findings. Personal transformation and well-being. The high rate of personal transformation. The majority of survey respondents, 82%, indicate that they experienced some form of personal transformation during their visit in Haridwar. This transformation often manifested as an increased self-awareness, improved mental health, and a stronger self-purpose. Enhanced well-being. Over half of the respondents, 55%, reported a noticeable improvement in their mental health, while 48% felt a stronger sense of purpose in life. These findings support the hypothesis that the spiritual tourism in Haridwar positively affect personal well-being. Influence of spiritual activities. Significant participation in spiritual activities. A high percentage of respondents participated in traditional spiritual activities such as bathing in Ganga River, 90%, attending aarti ceremonies, 85%, visiting temples, 75%. These are the activities were commonly mentioned as a key factors contributing to personal transformation. Next is correlation with positive outcomes. Statistical analysis revealed a positive correlation between participation in these spiritual activities and reported outcomes such as increased self-awareness and improved mental health. Cross-cultural influences. Differences in the spiritual practices. There are notable differences in spiritual practices between Westerner and Easterner visitors. Western visitors reported a higher frequency of meditation, 80%, compared to the Eastern counterparts, 65%, while Eastern visitors were more likely to engage in traditional religious rituals like bathing in Ganga, visiting temples, participation in the Ganga Aarti, whereas the higher frequencies, Western visitors are majorly involved in meditation. Cross-cultural learning and community. Interview and the focus group data highlighted the role of cross-cultural exchanges in enhancing the spiritual tourism experiences. Visitors from different backgrounds shared stories of learning from one another, developing a sense of community in Haridwar, which contribute to their personal transformation. Sense of community, feeling of belongings. A considerable number of respondents, 40%, mentioned that the sense of community in Haridwar fostered by collective spiritual activities and interaction with other visitors contributed to their well-being. The finding aligns with the hypothesis that a sense of community is a key component of a personal transformation. And here are some conclusions. The present study explored the impact of spiritual tourism on personal transformation and well-being in the sacred city of Haridwar, India, focusing on the cross-cultural analysis of visitors from diverse backgrounds. The study objective was to understand how spiritual tourism influences individuals' growth and well-being, and to identify key factors contributing to these transformations. The results were in line with the hypothesis that spiritual tourism in Haridwar leads to significant personal transformation and improved well-being, with variations depending on cultural background. Next, finding suggests that spiritual tourism plays a crucial role in facilitating personal transformation and promoting well-being. Visitors of Haridwar engage in various spiritual activities that lead to profound experiences. Bathing in Ganga river, attending aarti ceremonies, visiting temples are the among most frequently practiced activities, all of which are contributed to increase self-awareness, improve mental health, and stronger sense of purpose. Next is cultural background played a magnificent role in shaping the nature of spiritual activities and the focus of personal transformation. Western visitors tend to gravitate towards practice like meditation, whereas Eastern visitors engage more with the traditional rituals. Despite the difference, both groups reported positive outcomes, indicating the Haridwar offers a diverse and inclusive spiritual experiences. The sense of community and the cross-cultural interactions were also significant factor in driving personal transformation. Visitor highlighted that the feeling of belonging and support from each other who were in a similar spiritual journey or path that this community expects not only contributed to personal growth but also foster cross-cultural understanding, leading to a richer spiritual tourism experiences. Thank you so much. Here is we come to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for all the prominent dignitaries, participants, experts, for providing me the wonderful platform to present my topics today. And I appreciate for all of you to giving me your valuable time, effort to attending this exceptional event. If you have any question related to my topic, my research, you feel free to ask me. I'm here to answer I'm trying to answer all of your queries and questions, and I'm open with the feedback as well. It will help me to improve in further. Thank you.
Very well presented. Congratulations. Can you go to conclusion slide once?
Sure, sir.
In the meanwhile, participants, if you have any queries, feel free to share, or you can raise your hand, or you can unmute yourself and share your observations, queries, or feedback any on the presentation. Okay, there are no further queries. There are few appreciation messages in chat box. So, okay, if there are no queries, then yeah, this study, as you have mentioned, it is very limited to one city, one particular city.
Yes, sir.
So you can extend it further and see a comparative study.
Yes, sir.
Actually,
sorry to disturb you, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Actually, my PhD research topic is based spiritual tourism expectation and challenges based in Rishikesh and Haridwar. So I'm in my PhD topic, I'm covering Haridwar as well as Rishikesh. So this is just a basic research paper. So I only focused on Haridwar, but definitely I have to look around as well.
It's a very well presented paper.
Thank you, sir.
I wish you all the success and congratulations. In fact, more and more such papers need to be, researched and presented. Because
Yes, sir.
today, world needs more of spirituality rather than religion.
Yes, sir.
Religion is something that has a lot of concerns and more spirituality is something which is uh, more secular than religion, in fact.
Yes, sir, definitely.
So,
Actually, religious is it's not limiting yourself, but nowadays is a scenario where religion identity is limiting you only within your community. But once you give an impact of or talk about spirituality, it is inclusive. It is inclusive all the backgrounds, all the ethnicity, all the religious people who can come together and they talk about spirituality and share their experiences. So definitely, you are right. Definitely.
so definitely we need to come up more with spirituality and spiritualism and related studies.
Yes, sir.
And of course, our nation has been Vishwa Guru and very prominently established on various ancient text. We have been the abundance of knowledge, and
Yes, sir.
and much of that knowledge has been lost in the process because we were most of the time influenced by the Western literature, Western culture.
Yes, sir.
They promoted their culture. In the process, we lost our own culture, and that culture identity crisis is very much severe and evident. We so it is a great look back to our own roots. In fact, because
Definitely.
of the various disasters that are happening, not only at a personal level, but at a societal level, but at community level, even at national and international level, we are seeing how, especially the Sanatana Dharma, where we used to call a religion-less society, where there was no religion. Actually, lot of polarization that happened after these religions started emerging, and
Yes, sir.
a lot of divisions in terms of caste, religion, creed, color, gender. All these emerged, which were purely created for vested interests and various, you know, um,
Yes,
political reasons, and community was divided, and that's still continuing to so. But basically, we all are human beings, all have same rights and opportunities. We all have equal access to all the resources. So that is what we need to focus on.
yes,
Religion or belief systems, or for that matter, anything that is created by human beings. So for that matter, anything that is created by human beings can also be removed by
yes, sir.
human. So these are all temporary mechanisms which we have developed to promote our health and well-being. But
Yes, sir.
unfortunately, these have been turned against human beings, and they are being used to divide people and to promote this kind of hate speech among the communities and all such things. So in this context, when wars like thing happen, we are seeing constant conflicts between the communities, between the nations, between the continents. To establish a global peace and harmony, this kind of topics, especially spirituality, where it helps us to unite irrespective of one's demography, race, ethnicity, religion, caste, creed, are very much required to establish global peace and harmony. So very well presented.
Thank you so much, sir.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll move on to next presentations and complete the formalities, ma, so that you can get your certificate also in time.
Yes, sir.
So you can stop sharing. Okay, anyone else? waiting for their presentations. And anyone interested in sharing their observations also, there is a special certificate which is being given in this conference. Those who are willing to share your experience, it may be personal, subjective, or objective, based on your own experiences of becoming a voter for the first time and, sharing your experience as a voter after or before casting your vote for consecutive times as well. So this is a great opportunity to motivate our fellow voters. So we are providing a special certificate, that is appreciation certificate. So we request everyone to utilize this opportunity. But for that, no preparation is required. Only we need to go back to our memories and recollect them and narrate them. So that is what it is required. So I request everyone to utilize this opportunity to make the presentations and also share your experience. There are various topics we are seeing, you can come up with various topics which are relevant to the conference and conference themes, and you can talk on it. So we have presentations now by Satyendra Prasad. So after these presentations, we'll conclude if there are no experiences that to be shared on this day. And kindly ensure that you are following the presentation guidelines. Now we have made it mandatory because a lot of issues are coming up, especially with the team. You are not properly mentioning your name in the video, and a lot of technical reasons are there. So only when you follow all the formalities, you will be getting the certificate. That is decided. So if you don't follow, then you are not going to get certificate in spite of presentation. So discipline is also something very important. That's why, generally most of the things have to be voluntarily exercised. Otherwise, there will be someone who will be forcing on us. If we don't follow by ourselves, then definitely someone has to come. Someone has to take charge to ensure that we are following. So whether we'll do it voluntarily or whether we want someone to, force us, it is our choice. So let's not take it the other one, because no one wants them to be controlled or forced by someone else. We have to do it voluntarily, right? So let's go ahead with the presentations. Yeah, Satyendra Prasad, you can start your video and unmute yourself and share presentations as per the order. It is shared in the chat box. You have your chat in the chat box. You kindly follow the presentations, and there are a lot of, because the feedback, it is for generally one or two presentations, even participants don't proactively share feedback because everyone wants to encourage. But I want to mention this, particularly when you're doing multiple presentations, when participants also have expectations that you are continuously improving. No, we are still getting messages that you are reading it. And so that should not be repeated, because more and more time you are presenting, people are also expecting that you improve on your presentation skills, you improve on your PPT presentation on various topics, include images or make it more attractive. So keep that into consideration. So more and more time you are exposed, more and more feedback will be quite common. So ensure that you are improving yourself. Yeah, over to you. You can go to your first topic.
Sir, my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shall I start?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Myself, Engineer Satyendra Prasad Raju, Director Technology and Research Center, Gulwana International Technology and Research Center, Gitar Bhatparani, India. First of all, thank you to the organizer and organization committee to this international conference on voting, election, democracy, public policy and program, reform, awareness, education, environment, health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024. So my this research topic is based on education purpose and related to voting machine. So my topic is to develop online voting machine by embedded C programming. So next is outline of this my research paper. So introduction, literature review, research gap, methodology, software implementation, discussion, conclusion, and references. These are the related to the topic of research. How is an online voting system secure? To basically introduction about this online voting system is to stop the repeated vote by the electronic machine, and then no one can unwanted use the electronic machine. So based on the my research is innovative solution for the online and embedded C programming used to emerge as a promise and then online voting platform to enhance the authentication and then architecture system. So next slides is literature review. The literature review is based on electronics voting machine like study to explore the valuable electronics alternation and reliability potential enhancing system. And then after the next point is authentication mechanism to research literature, cryptographic technique, and ability to optimize system performance, robust security management, authentication mean, and then risk association to solve the dynamic landscape characteristics. So next point is the study about the C programming to enhance this aspect to a significant designing, and then also the demographic to enhance the valuable tools to secure online voting system, and then embedded C programming to is reliable, secure, and then acknowledged to providing a comprehensive and then voting system designing through the lens of the embedded C programming and versatility to positioning and valuable tools to develop of efficiency secure online systems. So next slides is research gaps. The research gap is basically to the multiple like that usable and then accessibility. The first point to the C programming enhance the user central designing and accommodating to the essential and then exploring the point to accessible the future. Next point is a real world implementation challenge. There are the real world implementation is based on C-based online voting system to the challenging can improve to the system deployment. Next point is the vulnerability assessments. It's specific to online voting system by the embedded C programming software, risk to crucial and system integrity. Next point is the scalability. The C-based online voting system is a local level and an adaptable, very scalable electronic system to enhance the voting machine. Next point is regularity and legal framework. Then the voting machine is the basically addressing and then research gap to fill the voting, like stop the unwanted and unbehavioral activity through the voting machine. So next point is public perception and trust. The first is design the software is publicly helpful to and acceptable for crucial words and then concern to programming development and then a usable purpose. Next point is integration with existing infrastructure like electronic infrastructure compatibility and legal system and crucial online voting system to enhance the integration of existing electronics devices. Next point is long-term sustainability is online voting system is a reliable over time and then advancement strategy strength and effectiveness to long time usable purposes and then durability is enhanced for this application. Next point is post-election process. The verify and then authentication purpose is used to methodology to enhance the transparency and election outcoming by the embedded C software. Next point is diversity and then industry. Its online voting system integrate the C-based programming to enhance the inclusion and importance of the voting and then motivate the people to enhance and communicate each other to through the software and then messaging to and determine its our dignity and then functionality. So next point is the methodology. Under this methodology, there are various points like system designing, security protocol, user authentication, database designing. The first point is the system designing to design a lightly module to is usually hardware and software requirement for the system to enhance the property of voting and then replaceable and then movable for easy way. Security protocol is protocol develop the authentication mechanism, integrity, voting machine information, and then authentication. Unauthorized people is not given any activity through this machine. User authentication is a multiple factor to authenticate authorized by the people through the electronic voting machine to enhance our voting and voting criteria, and no one other people to use this. Only authentication people allow to use it for security purpose. Database designing is basically to candidates detail and voting to record a security system. Then after that voting list is recorded in the in this software, and then voter is give the vote, then identify the people through this fingerprint and then secure the vote. Like a voting algorithm. In this algorithm to enhance the security processing like embedded C adaptability, anomaly and optimization algorithm. Next point is user interface. Then the interfacing between hardware and software for the embedded C programming to make the hardware to enhance the votings. Next point is testing and validation. So that testing and individual component is widely test and then simulate to real world scenario to like app and then use it through mobile and then also the Windows software to enhance the voting devices and then verification purpose. So security audit, the addressing and then testing accessibility to resistance to potential and cyber threat to authentication and then secure to the only that people is authorized is used and then no one can other to enhance and then activity to through this software. The next point is integration with existing infrastructure to ensure the addressing compatibility and then development through like that protocol is to only that through the voting people is used through this software and protocol to exchanging the data from one place to another place like that. So next point is ethical consideration is the valuable constant transparency mechanism through the only the ethical people like ethics and pure data is verifiable. Pilot testing like this testing used for refining system and then environmental evaluation system to perform the feedback. The deployment plan is on Francis and then deploy online voting system to consistency and then continue monitoring feedback collection like that. Next next point is documentation. Like documentation is basically design, code-based testing, procedural, and then various to that is step by step to using this monitoring system. Evaluation metrics like that to enhance the consideration factor and robustness, user satisfaction to the matrices to various different difficulty and then solution this problem. Continuous improvement like that feedback and collectively to taken by the people after the user and then collect the data for further monitoring. So these are next point is software implementation, the initialization. Next point is user registration, authentication module, and then bullet generation. This point is used for database collection and security purpose, and then embedded C for voting system. Also, the incorporated and then enhanced security system to electronic ballot and consideration to efficiency. To pick for software implementation for user to verification. So next point is voting process to ensure the integrity and accurate data by this process through the algorithm, and then verify the database by the system through input. So next point is security measure like injection and other data secured to between the user and server to implemented by the people and then also the verified by the software. The database operation is the condition detail to record the system and then the storing and retrieving at the time of voting people. User interface. This point is for seamless and intuitive and then diverse education to incorporate accesses interfacing between voter and voter through the hardware and software. Next point is result tabulation. Is the batch result and tabulation form to suitable and then easily countable the votes. So next point is a security audit trial. This is all user to transparency for each and everything's what happening. Error handling to if the software you make like that to the error mechanism happening any error through the software then immediately detect. Next point is integration with external system like such as a voting and then database to cohesive process to enhance the security system functionality and then continuous improvement. The next point is error handling. After that, the integration with external system and then testing. Next point is a pilot deployment, monitoring, and then maintenance, documentation, continuous improvement. This point is used to testing the software and then performance, gathering user feedback, essential process, and then after that functionality to enhance the improvement, collectible data feedback like that. So discussion. The online voting system marketing is the global level. So every country uses to this type of software to for election time and a platform to electronics votings. So first point is system architecture and designing is based on the emphasizing and role to of embedded C programming to enhance the votings to easily understandable and then available for the people and indicate after the voting. Next point is security measurement. This point is mentioned for data transmission and research contribution and trust to integrated of the encryption algorithm for voting environment. Next point is user authentication and accessibility is to incorporated and measurement to addressing the diverse and user-friendly experience. The next point is voter algorithm is the embedded C-based fair and encrypted process and then maintenance, economics and then electronics processes. Database operation is the operation to secure the storing and retrieving the voting list and then contributing the reliability overall systems. Next point is real tabulation is for using to efficiency demonstrate the data for give when at a time of voter is give vote. The next point is securing audit and error handling is a mechanism to any error occur in the software then detected by these people. So online voting system is like the first point is the in this slides integration with external system is seamless and then existing the architecture contribution and incorporated system external such like that. to enhance the voting integrity and then external system like hardware uses in this software. So testing and pilot deployment is like that to enhance the approaches, ensuring the voting robots and then deployment. After that, the tested the machine and then verification purposes. So conclusion. In this online voting machine to user significant moderation and meet the demonstrated designing edges, a robots significant and then encryption algorithm reliance online voting environment and then voting while the maintenance and exclusive to forecasting like that. It is also helpful for the voters to understand and then easily step to what is the process and how to enhance our the voting criteria. So this point is point for the external real-time result tabulation for the enhancing our system reliability and then voting system to in additional existing election infrastructure. Now come to the next point is ongoing advancement step by step robotic efficiency and then understand the election to infrastructure like that. So these are the my research references. So thank you for giving me the opportunity and then listener and listening to essentially. So anyone can ask through this software to how to use, then welcome to ask anything related to this topic. Thank you.
Yeah, participants, if you have any queries, feel free to share any observations. There are no queries, then you can move on to next presentation. For each presentation, follow the guidelines.
Shall you confirm, sir? This is my next presentation according to chat box.
Okay, Mike, you can introduce and continue.
Okay. So myself, Engineer Satyan Prasad Rajgun, Director Technology and Research Center, Gulwana International Technology and Research Center, Guitar Bhatparani, India. First of all, thank you to organization and organizer committee to giving me this wonderful opportunity in this international conference on voting, election, democracy, public policy programs, performance, awareness, education, environment, health, wellness, and sustainable development 2024. So my research topic is basically education purpose to enhance the computer, to develop computer peripheral by embedded C programming. So these are the outline. So first is a fit to mechanism and optional micro. So introduction, literature review, research gap, methodology, software implementation, discussion, conclusion, references. So introduction basically to enhance the modern era to communicate the security and like that the peripheral representation for C programming based to make the peripheral systems like that two methodology for the challenging outcome C programming based computer peripheral like that. These are the peripheral communicated to each other in a figure. the peripheral devices. Is a peak through this literature review. So peripheral underscore its significant advancement and illustrated microcontroller various peripheral devices to communicate each other through one single computer devices, and then compatibility issue and ensuring robust and communicate between the code and peripheral hardware through these peripheral devices, and then easily understandable to the environments. So scholars and then diverse peripheral to enhance the protocol and then communicate by eye-to-eye communication system, real-world system, and then after that input and output is like that. To first is input like mouse, and then keyboards to through this provide the input and then set the data through the system, and then get the output on display screen. So these are a responsible time to control the system, and then literature review this instrument, and then peripheral enhancing the real-time system, showing the embedded C programming through this peripheral execution to communicate each other. Now to the research gap. The first point is scalability and portability. Based on this topic, to communicate the microcontroller architecture, various portability like type, and then different type of the peripheral devices to communicate each other. Then next point in energy efficiency, like that to this optimize the code to enhance the and secure and minimize the energy efficiency diverse operating system to consume. Next point is secure implementation to like in my firewall to devices to is communicate with each other to for protection purpose. Any devices inserted from the server devices to protect it through this. Next point is human computer interaction, like that each of the peripheral devices is usage through this center for the using, and then communicate through this interaction with peripheral hardware and software. Next point is adoption to ensuring technique to IoT is like Internet of Things to communicate through the peripheral positioning, and then emerging technology to accumulate through the programming. Next is these are the peripheral like that monitoring disk, mouse, keyboards to standardize and interoperability to enhance the facility seamless, and then devices to communicate to each other through a protocol by embedded C programming. Next point is fault tolerance and reliability to enhance the seamless, and then has significant consistency and reliability to enhance our scalability. Next point is dynamic reconfiguration to peripheral computer peripheral adapt in changing requirement without through dynamic system to communicate through it. So next point in methodology, input and output like system is in a figure. So the problem definition. So basically identify the problem to communicate between through the peripheral devices to does not exactly and then perform at right time. So that's enhance its literature review. This point is for the computer peripheral based on the C programming to inform and take the information through the gap and fill it. Through the next point is selection and computer peripheral is ensuring the diverse type of sensor, accumulator, and then peripheral to enhance and communication range to like wireless LAN local area network to enhance it. The next point is embedded C code deployment to emphasizing and energy efficiency scalability to enhance it through this coding, and then optimize the code, reduce the code, and then lines of codes. These are the peripheral devices. So implementation of these devices through the central devices like that. In this is the different to assemble through the single devices. So next point is a microcontroller platform is the platform to enhance the closed peripheral to microcontroller communicate to each other like memory constraints, peripheral input IO, random access memory like that. The hardware integration is the basically to peripheral communication purpose to hardware and then software to communicate each other through IPA protocol, integration integrated protocol, synchronization devices like that. The next point is network security system is in a peak to how to secure the network through the peripheral devices communicate to each other. Now come to the point. Performance evaluation is basically to optimization technique, exploring technique, real-time testing, security analysis, like that. Everything is within encrypted C programming, like resources utilization, and then under very such testing, C programming, peripheral communication, firewall, and then the data communication to conduct the performance matrices. The next point is computer. This figure is a computer network diagram to various part to signal to the main computer and then transmit the data, like transmission and then receiving the data through this figure demonstrate like that. So next point is user interaction assessment, like interface devices and overall experiences through the C programming interfacing, computer peripheral, data analysis, and then C programming contributed to enhancement the computer peripheral analysis, and then study the purpose of peripheral and motivate it to the communicate through it. And next point is a conclusion and future work to limitation and encounter the duration and process potential and ensure the limitation of the devices. So next point is software implementation. The tool setup, peripheral initialization, algorithm implementation, this interrupt service robots, communication protocol, memory management, power management, real-time verification. This point is to implementation for the different peripherals, debugging, then performance is feeding, like that. I2C PSPI, like universal synchronous synchronous transistor receiver, and then is peripheral specific integration, error checking, like that. Real-time application system synchronization, everything is used and considered in this peripheral devices. So this peak is perform the operation with a peripheral like mouse. Mouse is enter from the input similar way each and every devices to perform and get the output and see the on the screen. So next point is error handling and debugging. To any error occurs through this input devices, then error is immediate handled and then informed to on the screen and users. Testing and validation, secure measurement, user interface, documentation, version control, performance analysis tool, compliance, and then standards and integration with development boards. These peripheral devices and then software, hardware to embedded C coded and then code base, ensuring to specification and modification collaborate with each other, program maintenance, everything is through this software is inbuilt in hardware and conduct smoothly. So this is the another part of to perform the through the mouse and then get the performance operation. So discussion. So computer peripheral based on the embedded C programming critical, like performance optimization, highlighting and then enhancing efficiency, hardware integration, discussion like on the issue in future implementation, scalability and portability, everything is happening through the microcontroller architecture peripheral devices. These are the peripheral devices communicate to each other on the pin. So the next point is energy efficiency, securing consideration, like that. Everything is secure and then efficiency increased by the coding through the number of lines is reduces after the proposed that model for computer peripherals. So the computer network diagram is used to the enhance real-time system responsiveness, user interaction. The next point is comparison to existing. This point is used for the real-time application, contribution system reliability, applicable, and then user interface. Everything through the computer network diagram is demonstrated through it, through wireless to the device and then device to other wireless systems. So conclusion, enhance performance, scalability and portability, energy efficiency, secure measure, real-time responsibility. This point is enhanced through this software after making the hardware. Overall system efficiency implementation, low power module, duration states, and then secure computer system. After the contribute to reliability, precision, computer peripherals, to emphasizing and precision to robustness and overall the system of performance, real time application like that. Everything's in built in this software. So these are the input, example, output like that. So user interaction and experiences to easily use by the user and then interact to each other. User friendly interaction, computer peripheral to enhance the dynamic field and efficiency, adaptability. However, the direction of contribute exploring innovation, dynamic fields, contents, and then after the significant deployment, ensuring it. These are the real hardware and knowledge best pick. So these are the research-based references. Thank you. Anyone can ask through this research, then welcome to ask. Thank you.
Do you have any other presentation?
Yes, sir. If you allow, then I will start. Otherwise, stop to.
Yeah, today it's already 9. So
Okay.
we'll stop for the day.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So congratulations everyone, all the presenters, and also to all the participants. We express our sincere, heartfelt gratitude to all of you, and kindly do vote, exercise your vote, and come up with your observations. Basically, this conference is meant for sharing our observations and inviting deliberation, discussion, so that we can improve the experience of voting, being part of the largest democratic process in India. So don't worry about the certificates. It all depends on your interest. If you want certificate, if you follow the formalities, automatically certificate will follow you. So no need to worry about certificates as long as you are completing the formalities. So if you don't want, then you need not worry about certificates. And the certificates for psychology quiz that the previous conference we had have been released today. Those who have attempted and completed the psychology quiz, it is still open. You can try it. As said, we approach in a time-bound process. So you will be getting your certificates. Those who are trying, submitting from today onwards, they will be getting in the next batch. Already those who have submitted by today afternoon, they all have been issued certificates for psychology quiz. And similarly, we have organized a Pure Earth Conference, Environment Earth Conference, Pure Earth Environment Conference on 27th April 2024. So those participation certificates also have been issued. Presentations we gave it off, and the participation certificates also have been issued. So that conference, entire all certificates have been issued. If you have any query, you can use the e-certificate request form and use the opportunity. The feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before you leave the platform. So see you all tomorrow. You can visit the website and download the certificates. Those who have attended the previous quiz. Even in this conference also, we'll be having a quiz on top questions related to voter, that is elector, and the election process and various aspects related to it. The quiz will be available before the closure of conference or as early as possible. We are preparing few more additional questions to that. Already we have prepared, but we are adding some more questions to that, and we will be issuing tomorrow or day after, so, or mostly by end of the conference. So you can access it. The links also will be updated on registration forms, on websites, and across the platforms. So whenever they are updated, we will let you know. So we request everyone to complete their formalities. Presenters and participants, check website, go through the instructions, check the eligibility criteria, and ensure that you are completing all the formalities in time so that you get certificates in time. So thank you everyone once again for joining us on this wonderful day, and see you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock with the same joining link with different presentations and different topics related to the conference. Take care. Good night. After filling the feedback form, you may leave the platform. Take care. Good night.